Today, I am going to be ranking all of the maps that are currently in hellletloose. Now, I am basing this off my own personal preference. I know some of my friends enjoy different maps than I do, so if that's the case for you guys, let me know down below which maps you wanted to see at the top, and maybe some of the maps you guys just can't stand. Now, I ordered these ones alphabetically, and that's how we're going to go through. So we're just going to jump right into it, starting off with Carentan. And now, personally, when it comes to maps, I'm not really a huge fan of the urban ones. That's just my personal preference. And Carentan is one of the most urban maps in the game, if not the biggest urban map with the most amount of, city setting. So for me, I want to put it somewhere around playable. I can't exactly remember whether it's Carentan or one of the Saint-Mère-Église that you have really a hard time navigating. Some of the urban maps, they just block off tons of alleyways. You can't navigate the city. For that reason, I'm going to put Carentan personally either in eh or playable. It can sometimes be fun, but I'm going to have to put it in eh because, like I said earlier, I'm really not a fan of the urban maps. Next up is Foy, and we're really not starting off on a good foot here for me because, as my Twitch chat knows, I don't like Foy. Mostly because of how hard it is to see. And I guess, you can say it's realistic with the snow. I do like it for the fact that it's unique, but most of the time, if we're on Foy, I'm leaving the game. I don't want to play Foy. I don't really like it, to be honest. And it could, it's kind of on the edge of eh, and I'm leaving the game. But I don't think there's any map I like less than Foy. Foy is garbage to me. It's whatever. It's you're getting sniped, you're getting hit by artillery, and that's about the whole match for me. Next up, we're starting to head in the right direction. We have Hill 400. This is my kind of map. I love the open environment. You have plenty of cover too. You have plenty of rocks to hide behind, trees, and it's super realistic. This is what's going on out here. We're out in the battlefield, we're out in the hills, and we're out in a dense forest. So Hill 400, it's pretty top tier, but I'm going to put it at pretty good. I'm going to put it at pretty good because next map is top tier in my opinion. We have Hurtgen Forest, which geographically is very close to Hill 400 if you guys know the history. I believe they took place, just in the same area. I don't know if this was in Germany, but we just watched a video on it recently. And Hurtgen Forest is a perfect mix of some of these more open field maps and Hill 400. So Hill 400 is very hilly. There's a lot of elevation. Problem with Hill 400 is a lot of the times you're getting shot down at. You're trying to hold a position, you're trying to push the hill, and people are shooting down at you. Hurtgen Forest has a perfect mixture of everything. It's top tier, mwah, chef's kiss. Personally, really my favorite map in the whole game. It really is. If we're playing Hurtgen Forest, we're always having a good time. Next up, we're going to the K's. We got Kursk. All right. And I personally do like Kursk. It's playable. It is playable. You do have a little bit of problems with, really big open fields. They do have some trenches, but I do like Kursk. I'm really debating right now if it's pretty good or if it's just playable, I am having trouble deciding. I think I might put it as pretty good. It's very unique, and I know we have some other maps down here that are probably going to take up these slots. So I think I'm going to put it at pretty good. Kursk is a pretty good map. Next up, we have Omaha Beach. And now it is, pretty confusing between the two, between Omaha and Utah. But I do think that I like Utah Beach more. But I think they also both have a bit of open fields to them. So for this reason, I think I'm going to put Omaha just at playable. I'm not leaving the game. I don't know if I would say it's eh, but I'm going to put it at playable, and I foresee that maybe Utah Beach will be alongside it at playable. We have Purple Heart Lane here, and usually I have a pretty good time on Purple Heart Lane. It's very rare that it ever comes up into the mix, but Purple Heart Lane is another open map. It has a little bit of, town settings here and there. For the most part, when you're playing Purple Heart Lane, it's a lot of swamps. It's pretty good. I think I actually might put it at playable. I don't really think it's on tier with these other maps, so I'm going to leave it down here at playable. Next up, we have Stalingrad, which I go back and forth with. I used to think that I would be leaving the game if we got Stalingrad. I used to have, running issues with it, with, graphics. But at this point, with my belief on Stalingrad, I think it's pretty I think it's It's not awful. It has its good times. But it is, it's Stalingrad. It's just a wasteland. And it's usually, quite the battles going on. So I'm going to put it at I'm not really a big fan of it. But it's definitely not bad enough for me to leave the game. Saint-Mère-Église. Now, I believe we can see the church here. This one is playable. I think Saint-Mère-Église is the one that I don't mind. I think it's playable. It has I think I actually play it a lot. So we're going to put it here at playable. It's even on the fence of being pretty good. I think it has a nice mixture of not being too urban, but also having urban settings. And then not, like I said, not being too urban, not too open. So I think I'm going to leave it at playable, right in the mid tier. And we're moving on to Saint-Mère-Église. I could be pronouncing it wrong. I've never heard the correct pronunciation, but that's how I've been saying it. We have Saint-Mère-Église. Now, if I do remember, this is the one that's too urban for my own liking. I think this is the one I have trouble navigating. And for that reason, I'm putting it at I think it has a bit of, ruralness to it, which gives it a few points in my book, but I'm also not going to be leaving the game if I go on to Saint-Mère-Église. So I think we're just going to leave it there. It's, It's not amazing, it's not terrible, but it is a little too urban for my own liking. Lastly, we have Utah Beach. Now, I do think that I like this one a little bit more than Omaha Beach, so maybe for that reason I put it at pretty good. I think I always have fun playing it. If I remember, Utah Beach is the one with one of those like downed plains. The more I think about it, the more I remember how much I like Utah Beach. So I think this is our ending. We have Hurtgen Forest being the one top tier map. Love the map. And then pretty good, we have Hill 400, which is even pretty close to being top tier for me. We have Kursk, which is pretty good. Definitely not on par with, Saint-Mère-Église or anything. I think it's a little bit better. It's more unique. And then we have Utah Beach at pretty good as well. Moving on to the playable, we have Omaha Beach. It's not but it's not pretty good. We have Purple Heart Lane, which also is just a little too swampy. If anything, it's pretty good. It's also one of these ones that's kind of in between these two. We also have Saint-Mère-Église in the playable category. This one is, playable. It's not awful. It's not amazing. And it kind of straddles the fence between being pretty good with the amount of mix between ruralness and city. In the category, we have Carentan, which for me straddles the line between and I'm leaving the game, because Carentan can be a mess. It's just, a lot of shooting down alleyways, things like that. For some people, they love the urban setting. Oops. Personally, for me though, it's just not doing it all the time. Next up, we have Stalingrad in the category. Barren wasteland. It sometimes can be good, so sometimes I can straddle the line here between playable and but it's kind of towards the end. That's why I have it here in the category. Saint-Mère-Église, a little bit too urban for me. It has a little bit of ruralness to it, but it's not as good as Saint-Mère-Église in my opinion. So that's why I have it down here in the category. And last but not least, we have Foy, the snow map where I always get dunked on, and it never really goes to plan here on Foy. We always getting messed up. It's hard to see people. You're shooting people at far distances. A lot of the time, there's big open fields with no cover other than those like little bales. I don't even know what they are, but that's really all you have for cover other than these trenches here and there and like a little bit of towns. But Foy is the only snow map, which does give it some points in my book, but not enough points to get it out of the I'm leaving the game category. So I think that's everything. We got all the maps. Maybe we'll do a new one when the new map comes out. I'm sure we'll probably keep the rankings. I don't remember. It's called Remagen. I think that's how you pronounce it, the new map. Hasn't come out yet, so if you're watching this video and it is out, you're jumping back in time to watch this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said earlier, let me know down below which maps you would place at the top, which maps you would leave the game if you had to go on, or if there's no maps you would leave the game. Honestly, even if I did load into Foy, it's not so terrible, because I enjoy certain servers. If they're playing Foy, I'll play with them. It's an hour, and then we're moving on to the next map. But if I was gonna leave the game because of a map, it'd be Foy. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.